My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Percy Bysshe Shelley. A king whose shattered visage and vast empire lay as rubble in the desert sands, an image vaguely reminiscent of our society today and our people tomorrow. We who are possessed by the specter of consumerism despair, for the king whose greed ruined him may be a herald of the future to come. This podcast is about consumerism, greed, and how it destroys us. To understand consumerism, we need to define a few terms that are essential to the core of the problem.
Economics, materialism, advertisement, ideology. Economics, the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between given ends and scarce means. Materialism, the philosophical belief that the world is made of material and that there are no other types of entities. Advertisement, a notice or announcement in a public medium promoting a product, service, or event or publicizing a job vacancy. Ideology, a system of ideas and ideals, especially one that forms the basis of economic or political theory and policy. Consumerism is a social and economic ideology that encourages the acquisition of goods and services in ever-increasing amounts. It is a materialistic concept justified by the assertion that an item only gains value if it makes me feel good. More concretely, this means that in situations where you buy needless and scentless things, or when items become disposable to you because a new model is out, that is consumerism.
In the Philippines, consumerism is a plight that affects all people of every level. Whether you live in the slums or in a mansion, the newest iPhone model is your ultimate goal. It is ubiquitous, so common that it is hard to think of a place in the city without a row of stores lining the streets. In the heart of every city, a shopping complex. In the heart of every man, a dollar sign. As teenagers, it feels good to be able to buy things that make us seem cooler and follow trends, even if we don't really need them. Your friends respect you more, and you hold up to the standards that media tells you to adhere to. Then suddenly, you waste money, lose time, and your focus suddenly becomes your shoes over your grades.
Even in the Ateneo, where we have daily CLE lessons, most of the youth fall prey to overconsumption. Consumerism is spreading rampant, fueled by the fact most students here are competitive, want to fill in with the latest fads, and have money in excess. As relevant as it could ever be, with the advent of UPTC and Regis Center within the last few years, not exempt of the tide of society, we conform rather than think. In addition to that, the modern Roman Catholic Church has a generally negative viewpoint on the contemporary consumerism apparent today. Its roots and consequences said to have been the selfishness and jealousy continually expressed by individuals. According to the church documents of the late Blessed Pope John Paul II, when asked about this subject, he said that consumerism is a threat to the freedom of human persons to live according to the higher demands of love, rather than to the lower pool of material desires. Not just the sin of the rich, the poor too are driven by discontent and envy, revealing that perhaps physical gratification isn't all that it's cracked up to be, and that perhaps consumerism isn't merely confined to the richest of the rich.
The most common reason that people follow the ideology of consumerism in the first place is because physical goods give quick gratification. Many avoid searching for internal solutions and resort to substituting spiritual and mental needs with wealth and products. Most confuse this material pleasure for authentic fulfillment in their lives. In the short term, it seems justified to follow the tenets of consumerism. Cheaper prices, greater profit margins, concrete and corporeal goods with material benefits. Oftentimes, the things you buy can make you and your loved ones happy for a short time. The statistics show it. Prices of things like oil have gone down over the years, and general happiness levels have gone up in most countries. Then, in the long term, consequences become horrific. The cheap prices have to come at a cost from somewhere, perhaps from slave labor in China or from forests in Peru. The physical gratification loses meaning quickly when the high dissipates soon after buying it. The joy is gone, and all that is left is a deep hole that can only be filled by more things.
The cultural and ideological focus on consumption and material goods draw attention away from the spiritual growth, meaning that it becomes near impossible to reach self-actualization and achieve long-term happiness. It causes people to internalize highly destructive values, like the belief that anything is replaceable with immediate satisfaction, supplanting social cohesion and interpersonal relationships, with a dependence on money and power. Excessive consumption leads to bigger houses, faster cars, trendier clothes, fancier technology, and overfilled drawers. It promises happiness, but never delivers. Instead, it results in a desire for more, a desire which is promoted by the world around us, and it slowly begins robbing us of our life. It redirects our God-given passions to things that can never fulfill. It consumes our limited resources, tears at the foundations of society, ripping apart morals and values, internalizing hatred and greed. The church teaches us that authentic freedom is not trampling on the freedom of others. More than our own satisfaction, we must respect the lives of others. More than our physical gratification, we must focus on spiritual growth. More than our bodies, we need our hearts. And it is time that we stop this vicious cycle.